pro with the former two-division boxing champion, the bare-knuckle boxer, the boxing analyst, the magic man, Paulie Malignaggi, here at the Pane e Dolce, back at it, Fort Lauderdale. How we doing, Paulie?
Just enjoying life, man. I feel like Jake LaMotta in the movie Raging Bull post-retirement. He's getting interviewed by his pool, and he's just nice and chubby and hanging out.
Hey, those cookies are no joke, and the Schmo loves Raging Bull. Shout out to that. 1980, one of the greatest boxing movies of all time.
The best boxing movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And with apologies to Rocky, I love Rocky, but Raging Bull's my favorite.
Better than Rocky 4.
Rocky 4 is my favorite Rocky, but Raging Bull takes the cake. I mean, it's a true story.
Yeah.
True story.
Excellent glasses, by the way, Paulie. You're coming off a victory, celebrity boxing against Corey B. A domination, 3 rounds, man. It was a couple weeks back.
Yeah. It was an experience. I'll say that. It was an experience. Me and Corey chatted afterwards. I give him credit. He talked in and he got in there and did it. Something I can't say for a lot of the trolls that I've dealt with in my life. He got in there and he did it, and he boxed. He even got me with a couple of good shots.
Well, there it is, man. The last time we were sitting here, though, we talked about Wilder Fury 3. You said Deontay Wilder was going to be eviscerated. Well, it was a great fight. He lost. You were right about that, but what'd you think about that?
It was a better fight than I thought it would be. I thought it was a really excellent fight, actually. I might even win Fight of the Year, actually. I think that you could see the effect Malik had on Deontay. A lot of times, you change trainers. And I think Mark Breland was a good trainer, was a fine trainer for Deontay. I don't really blame Breland for any of the negativity that happened to Deontay in the second fight. But, as I don't think most people do. But you could see that sometimes a new trainer comes in and he's kind of just, the fighter never doesn't change. The fighter just kind of looks the same. I felt in the early part of the fight, there was a specific Malik Scott game plan. And that was to go to the body of Tyson Fury, jab into the body, using the right hand to the body. It's a nice Mack truck driving by. Hold on.
Big time truck.
So right hands to the body of Fury, and I thought that was a doubly good game plan. Number one, Fury showed up a little soft, so going to the body can never hurt, maybe to slow him down. But number two, you disguise the right hand to the head if you start to throw it to the stomach, to the chest, to the stomach, to the chest, and then surprise him with a right hand to the head where he's looking stomach or chest, So I thought it was at least a good plan and made it worth trying. I don't think he ever landed the big right hand by setting it up that way, but I thought, I've seen right hands to the head set up that way, where guys go to the stomach first, go to the chest first, and all of a sudden they bring it to the head and surprise the opponent. So what I'm saying is, to make a long story short, is I think that there was a specific Malik Scott game plan there. So kudos to both Deontay and Malik, who, although, like I said, I don't see the big deal with faulting Mark Breland for what happened before. You could see Malik did implement some changes in Deontay, but having said that, the fight was a very good fight in the first half of the fight, and it kind of dribbled into a slop fest a little bit, and I think that's because both guys came in a little bit too heavy, and their fatigue factor started showing. And, of course, once we got to that point, it was Fury backing up Wilder, and like I've said from the beginning, Wilder cannot fight backing up. So from the second half of the fight onwards, the competitive aspect of the fight ended. The competitive part of the fight was actually over at the midway point. And I knew that as soon as Deontay started consistently going backwards. There was a couple of moments where he was able to land a couple of good shots because Fury got careless, and Deontay does have a lot of heart.
That fourth round.
Well, yeah, the fourth round. The whole early part of the fight. But post round 6, that's it. I mean, you got, maybe even including round 6, that's it. The fight's over. I mean, and I knew it. I don't know if everybody else realized it. I knew it. Deontay was going back consistently. The fight was over. It was a matter of time. I think Fury didn't help himself being so heavy, too, because I felt like he could never put together that last combination and finish the fight. He was always like one combination, one shot away from finishing the fight, and he just couldn't do it, couldn't get it. It was fall in while Deontay was laying on the ropes. He'd fall in, and just couldn't get there because he was a little tired, a little sloppy, too heavy. But at the end, he finally did get his man. Both fighters fought a tremendously exciting fight. Both fighters deserve credit, even if I still don't like Deontay Wilder personally for many reasons. I still have to respect him as a man, and going out on his shield the way he said he wanted to, the way he always said he wanted to. So I don't think there's a fault in the way he went out. People say, okay, he got knocked out cold. It was a clean finish. So there's no debating that. But that I think if you ask Deontay the way he always wants to go out, if he's going to go out in a certain any way, that's the only way he wants to go out. He doesn't want you to stop the fight, and he proved that, because I was very curious about that. He blamed Mark so much in the second fight for stopping the fight. I want to see now how far was he willing to suffer, how much was he willing to suffer. And he was suffering a lot, and he dug deep, and he bit his teeth, and he bit his mouthpiece, and he suffered all the way till he couldn't go no more. So the character of the man inside the ring, you have to respect that. But Fury shows he's the best.
Well, speaking of the best, and speaking of, well, that guy's flying down the street. Speaking of biting down in the mouthpiece, what's next for you, Paulie? Where can we expect to see you? Are you still doing all the broadcasting? Are you going to get back inside the ring? What's news with you, Paulie?
Yeah, you'll be seeing me around. I'm doing some work with Blue Moon Boxing. It's a company in California. They have the gym, Blue Moon Boxing Gym, which is recently had a lot of notoriety for that crazy sparring session with Gervonta and Ivan Redkach. But also, it's a company that's really growing, and they're going to be seeing them more and more within boxing. And I'm working with them. I'm also working with Pro Box Promotions, starting in the new year. It's a company down here in Florida. They're doing a lot of shows, and they're going to start. You're going to start seeing their name a lot as well, especially in the new year. And I've got some stuff going on with Boxer in England, Boxer with 2 X's, going on in England. They've just signed a contract with Sky. I was already doing their podcast, the Boxer Mouthpiece podcast, so might be continuing to do that, as well as also starting another podcast with Randy Gordon. I'm in the midst of talking to Randy Gordon, who has a show on Sirius Satellite with Jerry Cooney, and so we might start a podcast called the Champion and the Commission, the Champ. I forget the order, because Randy is an ex-New York State Athletic Commission president. So I've got a lot of things going on, and I'm very happy about that. With good people, all of them are good people. I don't want to work with anybody who is gonna overplay the PC card anymore. I definitely don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, you got in trouble for that.
I'm not trying to offend anybody on purpose, but I also don't like the hypocrisy either. I don't like hypocrisy. When people overplay the PC card, it's typically very hypocritical, because nobody's that PC.
Yeah, but what about boxing? You gonna get back inside and compete? We saw you with Corey B. Schmo brought that up at the beginning. Any offers?
Yeah, I got offered to fight Diego Sanchez in BKFC, and then actually me and Diego were in contact, discussing maybe a fight, even a gloves fight. It's possible. I personally have a preference that I'd rather not. But if the money gets really good, you start to make me consider it. So, we'll see. I never say never, but I'm trying to go away from that. Not just for my health, because I'm older, but also I just feel like I need to just, I don't know if people are going to think this is funny, but I feel like I got to get the violence out of my life a little bit too. Like I've always been a little bit of a temperamental guy. I've been in combat my whole life. I don't mind working around it, but I feel like I've got to at least try to get away from the combat myself if I can. But we'll see. Sometimes there's different temptations, so we'll see what happens.
Well, speaking of violence, we're here in an Italian, cafe?
Yeah.
The Schmo, speaking of violence, the Schmo knows he saw the news that happened in Italy. DJ Francisco punched in the mouth by Conor McGregor, man. Come on, that was in your home state, home country.
And the poor guy, right? What did he get suckered again? He got like the guy
broken nose, saw the fat lip.
Yeah, unbelievable. I don't know why he got hit. I mean, no matter how much he disrespect, and I doubt he disrespected him, because I heard he was a fan of Conor, but so was the guy who took the picture with Conor a couple of years ago, and Conor smashed his iPhone, right? So I don't think it matters to Conor if he's the guy's a fan or the guy's a hater. I think Conor just goes off the rails, and just I'm gonna rephrase that. He doesn't go off the rails. He knows who he can bully. Because if you're the kind of person that goes off the rails, you go off the rails, and sometimes you go off the rails even when it's at your detriment. It might be your risk. For example, and I gotta say it, I was in his face in Vegas. I said, "Where's your balls? Bring your balls." If a guy who goes off the rails is gonna hit me there, right? Is he not a guy who hits a guy in a pub? A guy who hits the poor DJ? Honestly, Francesco Facchinetti, So I mean, I gotta say this is not a guy who goes off the rails. He purposely does these things. He went after Machine Gun Kelly at the Barclays Center. I feel like if this is a guy that goes off the rails, you go off the rails no matter what. But why were you controlling yourself with me, bro? Because you know you're going to get a punch back in the mouth? I mean, because with me, you might react. You might even hit me, but you're going to get hit back 100%. You're going to get hit back if you react to me. You know what I'm saying? What happens after that happens after that. Anybody can have their opinion. Obviously, most likely the fight would just get broken up. But you're going to the punch to the mouth will be received by you if you try anything with me. And he didn't even come close to reacting. I mean, if you look at what happened when me and him were face to face, he never looked like he was going to react. Ever. And yet, with an old man in a pub, you hit him. This DJ in Italy, you hit him? Come on, bro. I mean, at a certain point, anybody defending this guy is sort of they got a little bit of too much pussy in them. Because if you're defending these actions, you probably got a little too much pussy in your life. You got too much pussy in you, not in your life. You didn't get any in your life, but you got too much in you because I think you're trying to vicariously live through a guy that you probably wish you could be like, but you can't. Because there's the only reason you could ever defend certain actions, punk actions from a guy like that. And he's a punk. Because anytime somebody reacts to him, resists to him in any form of combat, he's always folding. So he's all punk. He's all fold. And no, it's not. People always say, we know this. People always say, oh, Paulie can't get over it. No. I'm fine with it. I know what I did to him. I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the suckers. But it's always... the irony, it always comes back to me every time there's something to talk about with McGregor. I always get calls about it and people ask me about it. So yeah, I mean, I think, I'm a good judge of character. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn when it was Brooklyn, not Brooklyn now. And I'm a good judge of character, and I know a punk when I see one. And I knew that guy was a punk when I first put eyes on him. I didn't have to. It didn't take all this. A lot of people realize it now, but it didn't take all this for me to realize I was a punk with no balls. I knew pretty early on that guy was a punk with no balls, and in the years since, I think more people recognize it now.
November 20th, Terrence Bud Crawford. He's fighting Sean Porter. Does Terrence Bud Crawford remain undefeated?
It's a good fight, but stylistically, I would be more curious about it if I hadn't seen Crawford against Horn. Crawford and Horn kind of gives us the blueprint of the fact that Crawford can, in fact, handle physically bigger guys and that fight a physical style. I think Porter's probably a little better than Horn, but he's smaller than Horn as well. So if Crawford was able to handle the physicality of Horn so well, I really expect him to probably handle the physicality of Porter very well. So it's going to take more than just Porter's physicality to bother Crawford. It'll be interesting because, Porter does bring some skills to the table as well as physicality. I do think he's a better fighter than Horn, but he's not bigger than Horn. So I think the physicality is going to be dealt with very well by Crawford. We'll see if Porter can bring any skills to the table that maybe can throw off Crawford a little bit, but it's hard for me to see that right now. But we'll see. I definitely look forward to the fight. It's one of the better fights at welterweight that you can make.
And then December 5th, Rolly Romero, he's fighting Tank Davis. Does Rolly Romero get the job done and shock the world and beat Tank?
Rolly's a good puncher. Jamon's a good puncher.
Someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going in there to tap dance or even feel each other out. They don't like each other. They even talk that street stuff, I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think it could be a fun shootout, Who knows? Maybe it'll compete with Wilder and Fury for Fight of the Year. I think it could be that kind of a shootout. Short, sweet, explosive. I hope so. I hope it is. I could see it evolving into that kind of fight. Don't get me wrong. I could also see somebody get knocked out in one round and it ends. That's the kind of crazy stuff that could happen in that fight. But I expect a good fight.
As we schwitz our heart out here in the heat, Southern Florida, final message for all the Paulie Malignaggi fans out there worldwide. Hey, pipe down out there.
Everybody's losing their mind over the heat. Schmo, you're going to get a tan. You're going to be dark as me soon.
Oh, man. I'm pale right now. We need the sun.
Paulie Malignaggi's coming back soon. You're going to see more and more of me around boxing. I'm happy to be working with all these good guys. Blue Moon Boxing, Pro Box Promotions, boxer with 2 X's in England, and a couple of podcasts. Champion the Commish and Boxer Mouthpiece. Be on the lookout for all that.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. Fort Lauderdale. We're out.